Hi, if you are a returning viewer, welcome back. If you are new, welcome. My name is Amira. And today, guys, we are going to be talking about my top 6 one and done single shadows in my collection. Now, this is not all of my single shadows or all of my one and done shadows, but these are the ones that I reach for the most, that I get the most, I guess, aesthetic satisfaction from, I guess you could say. So I've narrowed it down to 6. I thought about bringing more in, but I'm like, no, I wanted it to be a bit more curated and a bit more realistic for like what I reach for, because I love one and done shadows. Like, I'm not a single shadow like magnetic, like the ones that you can put in like a magnetic palette. That's not really my vibe. But I am very much a single one and done shadow kind of gal. Like, especially nowadays, it's sort of what I have been reaching for in my day-to-day life, getting ready for work when I don't have a lot of time. So yeah, so I'm gonna slide my top 6 over. Ta-da! Okay, here they are. I am going to show you what they look like, and you're probably gonna go, ma'am, these all look the same. And I'm gonna go, you're right, but also you're wrong. Let's get into it. Okay, guys, so these are the top 6. So I'm gonna start off with the Phytosurgence shadows, because I reach for these a lot. So first I have Wild Oak, and this is a discontinued shade, but I reach for it all the time, and it is just this beautiful satin. It is not a shimmer. As you can see, it's like super satiny, very soft. I don't even know if I'm picking up enough with my finger. I don't even know if you guys can see. You see how soft that is? I love this. And what I was doing with this when I first got it, and this is still how I use it, is I would take this, apply it to my lid with my finger or a brush, like a Rougher 21. And then I would go in with brown eyeliner, usually the MAC eye pencil in Teddy, and I would take that along my lash line and into the outer corner, and I would buff it out with a brush, like a pencil brush, and I would have this really soft, elegant, smoky eye, and I still like to do that. That is my favorite way to wear this. It's stunning. It's soft. I was really sad when they discontinued this, but I understand because they've got new products coming in. But if you have this or you manage to get your hands on this, you are a lucky duck, because it's a beautiful shade. And then next up, I have 2 shades that I purchased this past spring, and that's Ancient Anchors and Hypnotic Honey. And these are from I believe the newer collection that they had. And you can see, because oftentimes in the morning, what I'll do is, if I'm lazy, and I'll just dig my finger in like that, and then I'll apply it to my to my eye, and I will just, look how stunning that is. Look how stunning that is. And this one is Ancient Acres, and it is very, it's a gold. Like, when you look at these here, they kind of probably look very similar, but you're gonna see when I put them both on my hands, that Ancient Acres is a little more cool toned. It's got a little bit more of that sort of almost like silver tone to it. It's not silvery. I would say Crystal Constellation is probably, which is another shade from them that I own, is probably a bit more cool toned than Ancient Acres, but I do love this more for when I want something that's not quite as warm as like Wild Oak, or as warm as Hypnotic Honey, which we're going to look at now. So this is Hypnotic Honey. And as you can see, this is silvery, but it has like a gold fleck. And as you can see, it is way more intense than Ancient Acres. I keep having Ancient Acres. As you can see, it's way more intense. So this is one that I tend to use on like a daily basis, and this one is just way more intense, and it has that like really beautiful like gold with a little bit of silver to it. It does still have a little bit of silver to it, but it has like this gold reflect to it that is just, I mean stunning. Okay, absolutely stunning. And this is one that I just like to use when sometimes what I'll do is I'll put Ancient Acres on my lid, and then I'll just tap over it with a little bit of Hypnotic Honey just to get, I mean, look at that. Look at that. Can you see that? I mean, come on. Is that not the yummiest thing ever? Yeah, so yeah, those two are sort of the two that I like to pair with each other, or wear in their own, but I do it in a very, I tend to use Hypnotic Honey because it's so intense in a more calculated way, and I tend to do that when I'm going for a more dramatic effect. Now let's talk about these babies. Look at these. Actually, you know what? Let's talk about this one because this is the one I've had the longest. And let me just talk about, let me just wax poetic about these Chantecaille singles. They are the most expensive single eyeshadows I have ever purchased in my life. These were when I purchased them, and I believe the price has gone up since then, but when I purchased them, hold on a second, sip break. When I purchased them, they were still like in the $50–$55 range, which is insane for a single powder eyeshadow. And as a result, because they were so expensive, I'm going to close this because I don't want it to get dried out. I didn't purchase them. I would just like go on the Nordstrom website and I would just like look at them and drool and be like, one day when I'm a real girl, I'll buy one of those. Maybe even two. I now own 4. The problem is I purchased this one along with Elephant, and this is Giraffe, which is I consider the burnished brown shade. And I purchased those two. They were on sale. They were still insanely expensive, but they were at least on sale. I tried them. I fell in love with this formula and then wound up purchasing 2 more later on down the road. So this shade, and actually I think I'm going to use the other hand so you guys can, this one is Otherwise Occupied. You can see I've had this a while and I've used it a ton, and it doesn't really like it. There's a reason for that, and I'm gonna show you what that reason is. So this is what it looks like on my fingers. Again, deliciousness. This is like a coppery, bronzy, taupey, delicious. Oh, I will take this. What I love about these shades, this formulation from Chantecaille is that this can do so much as one product. I can take this and I can apply it softly with my hand, or I can apply with a brush and buff it out. And usually when I buff it out, I get like this really soft look. And then I go in with my fingers after I've put it on with a brush and buffed it, and I will go over it and I will pat this over, and it will give me this like beautiful gradient with one shadow. Now you're not going to get much of a gradient because I'm using the same method. I'm applying it with my fingers, but I just wanted to show you guys how this looks sort of like blended out. Do you see how stunning that is? And if you're using this on its own, like just as a single shadow, which is, you know, one and done, which is how I use it. Again, I go in with a semi-fluffy brush. I apply it to my lid. I buff it out. I go over it with my finger, and my finger picks up more of the, and you can see it here, like it picks up more of the gold reflect, and it disperses it in this way that just makes it look like I have 2 shadows on my eye when I really only have 1. This is like when you want that really beautiful depth and dimension, and I always say this is like maximum impact, minimal effort type of product, which I love. And those products can be hard to formulate well, in my opinion. And this is such an elegant, beautiful formulation. I often think Chantecaille is overpriced. Most of the time I think it's overpriced. These, do I think they're overpriced? Yes, I do. I think these are still overpriced. But do I regret purchasing them? Do I regret spending the money on these? And specifically this one? Absolutely not. Completely worth it. It has been something that I have reached for again and again and again and again that has proven its worth and value in my collection. Another shade that does sort of a similar thing is this shade from Make Beauty. This is from their multi-chromatic metal reflecting eyeshadows, and this is the shade Dream Dust. I took this with me to New Orleans, and can I just say, so many people were drooling over this shade, especially when I told them Oh, what's on your eyes, Amira? It's just this. It's just this, y'all. This shade is just, I mean, it's like wild oak, but like wild oak on steroids. Let me open it back up again. I don't know why I closed it. It's just this stunning molten gorgeousness that you can apply with just your finger or brush. And it just, I mean, I use this the same way that I use wild oak, but I will use this one when I want a bit more impact because it's got a bit more reflect than wild oak does, and you can see that here. So this is wild oak. As you can see, it's really soft and really satiny, and this is Dream Dust. Get the same effect, and I use these the same way, but I tend to like to use this one when I'm going for a little bit more oomph. So I'll do the same thing. I'll put this on my lid. Sometimes I'll apply it with a brush and then go over with my finger like I do the Chantecaille just to get a bit more impact, and then I'll go in with a brown pencil, usually Teddy, and smoke it out. And it's so, I mean, can you even? And I wear this to work, guys. I will wear this shade on my lid to work because I love that feeling of like, I feel dressed up, but I haven't had to do a whole lot. And it can just really like brighten your day a little bit, you know, to have something that pretty on your lid. So yeah, this is the Make Beauty, and I know they're called the multi-chromatic. I think this is just a marketing thing. They are not multi-chrome. I don't think they were ever meant to be multi-chrome or to be mistaken as multi-chrome. I know a lot of people are like, they're not multi-chrome. They're not. But I think they just liked the name from a marketing standpoint, like multi-chromatic. Really, they're just really beautiful metallic shades. And then finally, we have the Soufflé eyeshadow from Surat and Gris Doux. And I have had this since like end of last year. It's very wet. And you don't have to do a whole lot to it. Oh, I did this with the wrong hand. We'll do it on this side. Okay, let's do it here. So, do you see how pretty that is? I mean, this is a great way to show the reflect in it. It doesn't look great on on this part of my hand, but the reflect is showing in a very lovely way. I'm going to use this finger and use this hand. So the way I like to apply these, this is not something I would apply with my hand. They dry down really, really quickly. I like to use a Refer 21 brush and dip into these because it does dry really fast. And you can kind of see here that it's getting a little patchy, and it's because it's dried and then I added wet and applied it over it. So I say with these, the way the formulation works for me, works best for me, is to use a Refer 21 brush and work quickly, and it works just fine. I love this shade, and I don't know if you can see that there's sort of like a theme with all of these. They're all like varying shades of like taupe, gold, coppery type of vibes, and that is my vibe, yo. That if I'm doing a one and done, this is basically the shades. These are the shades that I go for. These are the shades that bring me joy, and these are the shades that I feel like look the best on my eyes because I have brown eyes. They kind of just give me, even when I'm not trying, they just give my eyes such oomph because they can look quite dramatic with not a lot going on because of my eyes are dark. So yeah, I also think if you have blue eyes, ooh, if you have green eyes, these type of shades will look amazing on you. But yeah, so these are my top 6 one and done, guys. And if you want me to talk about some of the other shades in my sort of like one and done collection, let me know. But I just kind of wanted to show you the ones that are like my never fails, my ride or dies. They are the ones that when I can't figure out what I want to do, or if I don't have enough time, this is what I reach for. Let me know in the comments down below, guys. Let me know some of your favorite one and done shadows. And if you enjoyed today's video, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye now.